Hi, this is Anadi Madhu. I've come up with another video. This time I'm going to give you a lecture on commerce stream. Basically, I'm from science background, so I've passed out from science high school in 2004. So it's been 20 years. So as I was, and then I did my management, and in management I have learned a part of commerce, balance sheet, profit and loss account, then cash flow statement, all these stuffs, and also and the taxation calculation I have learned in my secondary school, meaning in school in board exam I calculated the tax problem along with HRA problem, and all these things I have calculated in my mathematics subject in class 10. So as I was going through the tax structure of India, I was little bit confused about the tax structure. They are coming up with a term called GST, goods and service tax. The fact is that goods and service tax is a tax uh, asked by the government, and that tax is asked by the government to the businessman who is providing goods and services. So why are we showing the goods and service tax to the end customer? That is the first question. Because the end customer is ultimately is aware of personal tax only. Personal tax, then house tax or land tax, water tax, road tax, whichever it may be. The end customer only knows about this. Then why are we asking goods and service tax amount from the end customer, since the tax is being asked by the government to the businessman only? So it's a deal with the government. It's a deal between government and the businessman. So why are the end customer continuously getting to know about this goods and service tax? It's useless originally. We are not concerned, and the goods and service tax they are asking, the businessmen are asking from end customer. We really don't know why the businessmen are levying goods and service tax from the end customer. Instead, they should tie up. Obviously, it is a deal with government and businessmen. So it's a clear cut, complete violation of rules and regulations, because the end customer is giving the personal tax, lands and housing tax, and all those taxes, and in spite of that the end customer is supposed to give the goods and service tax. That goods and service tax is basically a tax should be given by the businessman to the government, not by the end customer, but they are charging the tax, that GST, from the end customer. I really don't know what has happened to the commerce student in 2024. Are they really completely have gone mad? Why are they continuously doing the double accounting? Why goods and service taxes are directly being charged to the end customer? And it is being written on paper, GST, this much GST, end customer has to give. So double accounting is happening. An end customer is giving his land tax, water tax, personal tax, and then GST also. Is it a GST, goods and service tax, one tax, or it is many tax under one tax? Many tax under one tax. End customer is carrying the burden of GST. Why? Tell me. So as a end customer, I should give personal tax to the government, land tax, water tax if it is applicable. What else? Road tax if I have a car, lifetime road tax. So these taxes are being asked from end customer. Still, it is being counted from the end customer. Why this is happening? So the GST burden should not be given to end customer. That's the first step. Every commerce student should understand this. Otherwise, we are double accounting everything. We are spending money from our side and then we are at the same time we are giving tax to the government, and that the government is again asking the tax in the form of GST to the end customer via businessman. What the hell is happening to our country? Two times tax. One GST, one personal tax, not two times, so many times. Land tax, personal tax, water tax, road tax, and then GST. Then GST, they said one tax for all. How it is one tax for all? Tell me. Why are you asking for personal tax? Why, if it is one tax for all? Tell me. Either GST or personal tax. Nothing else. No land tax, no nothing. Road tax, what water tax. So many taxes are there. Either GST or personal tax. These one of the two. So if you talk about GST, goods and service taxes, so clearly specific goods are defined, and under that taxation has been leveled. Similarly for services also. And if the end customer is being asked to give the GST, then there shouldn't be any personal tax at all, because ultimately we are spending that amount which we have received, and with that amount we are directly giving tax to the government in GST form. Okay, so I believe partially the recent government has understood the problem, and they have put some initiation in that direction. So if you see the current personal tax structure, that is 2024-25, you will see till 3 lakh annual income person should not be paying any tax. What does this mean? Nowadays, any man who is under the slab of 3 lakh per annum is not supposed to give a tax. So in that form, you can say that person is avoiding personal tax because he is paying GST. But what would happen to those people who are in the range between 3 lakh to 6 lakh? They are paying 5% extra amount to the government. So you are getting what I am saying now. Up to 3 lakh, you don't have to pay personal tax because you are giving GST. Has the government taken this thing into consideration? Why this will happen? Tell me why this will happen. Government is for everybody. Ration has been provided to each and everybody. Okay, dal, chawal, basic food steps are being provided. Why there should be a concession? So we should understand that government, under the wheel of GST, they have somehow eliminated the personal tax in the form of reduced reduced annual income of those annual income of 3 lakh. So you can understand that we as a citizen should always protest about all these things, because those who are in the slab of 3 to 6, 6 to 9, 9 to 12, 12 to 16, those who are in the range of 12 or above, 12 lakh per annum or above, those people are paying double tax to government for past, since Modi government government inception in 2014. So this is the biggest problem at present. So when we are saying GST, there shouldn't be any personal tax at all, because you have understood the step. Now let's forget about all these things. GST you have understood. GST is one tax for all. Okay, one tax, one nation. So there shouldn't be any personal tax. Now suppose GST is there, but in spite of that, personal tax is there. So in personal tax, we are being told that up to 3 lakh you are not supposed to pay anything to government. That means every citizen of India who is earning 3 lakh, they should not give anything to government. In return, government will give something from the amount which he will be receiving from those people who are in the range, who are above the slab of 3 lakh. So you are understanding that you are creating a inequality in the society, meaning for the same for the same nation, we are treating people in a different fashion. Those who are earning more, treatment will be different. Those who are earning, in terms of finance, I'm talking about. So we can understand that personal tax will not make any basic equality amongst the citizens of India. It will create inequality. So in that sense, we will say GST will be the only tax through which a nation should run, because that way those who will be using the goods and service, they have to pay tax to them, because basic step is that goods and service are being provided by the government, and you have to pay something in return, some reward or tax, whatever you want to say, you have to provide to the government. So in that sense, we can say GST will be the one tax. GST will be the one and only one tax. Now personal tax has gone, now the land tax has come. That means the land tax or the house tax, road tax, what are these? You are getting it. So much confusion in the commerce stream. After giving land, personal tax, then what else? Then GST, you have to give land tax also, water tax also, road tax also. If you buy a car, you have to give road tax also. When you are buying, I bought my car in 2017, Renault Kwid Climber. Therein I have to pay the lifetime road tax. I was just thinking, what the hell is happening? After personal tax, you have to give road tax also. And it's a commerce student, it's an expense, Ray. Why are you paying a tax? I was really, when there is an expense associated with it, we should not pay a tax on it. Do you know that? Expense is just a word. Why should you pay it? If it is a gain, then we can pay a tax. If you are running a profit, somebody will tell you, please share the profit. If you are running in loss, why will you pay tax or share the loss? Nobody is going to share the loss, right? So when it's an expense, there shouldn't be any tax. Obviously, are you getting it? Personal income. So that's what I am saying is, personal tax, you are saying you are gaining something, then you have to pay. What I am gaining is, I am gaining from the government itself. Understand? And government is giving direct amount to me. I am a government servant. So basically, government directly paying the salary to me. So why should I give a tax to government after getting a salary? Are you getting it? So you can understand, so much comical steps are involved in the commercial financial steps, and very ironical in nature that we are still doing double, triple, quadruple accounting, meaning giving tax again and again to the same government, and still we are not getting the equal amount of services. So that's a problem. So GST is goods and service tax. It's a one tax for one nation and for one person only, and there shouldn't be any personal tax, there shouldn't be any land tax, there shouldn't be any water tax or road tax. So the GST should involve insurance cost also, car insurance cost also, because it's a service. Insurance is a service, so insurance cost also. So all these things, I think a commerce student who have studied commerce for minimum 2 years, and after that he has pursued BCom or MCom. So it is the duty of the commerce student to go through these rules and regulation and just try to see why we are doing so many redundant accounting again and again and creating a mess to the end customers. And if you are able to eradicate this redundant taxation from the system, then our system will definitely get improved, and commerce background student will get more appreciation in this regard. Now you must have understood that when there will be a expense, meaning a loss, there shouldn't be any taxation. Now you would ask, why GST because the goods and services I am buying and I'm going to give a tax onto that. So you could easily understand that goods and service is being levied from the businessman, and businessman is doing a crime and asking the same GST from the end customer. So GST tax is always basically profit after tax, right? You have must understood that. When you are getting a profit, then only we are asking for a tax. For losses, how can we ask a tax? Understand? We don't have a penny in our pocket and we are supposed to give something to the government. Is it possible? Nothing. Right? So you can understand GST is basically a tax levied from the businessman, and businessmen are basically doing mischievous activity and they are asking the same thing from the end customer. End customer is taking the burden. Similarly, land tax. What is land tax? Land tax is also a mischievous, is a criminal, financial criminal offense, a financial offense or whatever. So why we are buying a land? It's an expense from us. Why should we give a tax to the government? And once we have bought that land, why should we give a land tax again and again, yearly wise? Right? Is it right? Things which you have bought, once you have bought, why should you give a tax on the, then a small toy, if a kid is buying a small toy, then the kid has to pay a tax to the government for that bought toy. Similarly, for a car, why they are asking for a tax? I'm buying a car, they are asking for a tax. Is it justified? I am giving an expense, I am creating an expense and I'm supposed to give tax to the government. How this is right? So you should have understood that the commerce student have to go through all this taxation part, because I have learned taxation from school. I did not go for commerce. I went for science, but by studying science, I got some sense of financial steps, and I've understood some lacuna, not some lacuna, big lacuna of financial institutions and financial steps. So I'm just pointing out to commerce background students, and they should look after this, so that this sort of repeated redundant steps should be avoided. So you could understand. So that's all. I believe that specifically the commerce student must have understood that the double accounting or triple accounting taxation should be avoided as much as possible, and probably in this we can improve our system. So that's all. If you like this video, please subscribe my channel Ronnie's Identity in YouTube, and please do give a thumbs up to this video and the subsequent videos. And that's all, and have a nice night. Bye.